Hello everybody, and welcome back to another kind of figure design kind of video where I kind of take you through the process of kind of how I draw and how I design these Mattel style dinosaurs in hopes to maybe see these guys one day in stores, you know. So today obviously we'll be looking at the Apatosaurus, and I have already actually done a design a very long time ago when I was still new to digital art, and it was really not good kind of looking back. I'm actually thinking about redesigning a lot of the older figures because I first started digital art pretty recently, about a year ago, and it was just very challenging to kind of figure everything out, and I just kind of wanted to give it another crack. But anyways, with the Mattel Apatosaurus here, it's been featured in both movies so far, and we just haven't got a real figure of it. I mean, we got the minifigure, and it's nice and all, but I really do think that we should get an actually sized figure of the Apatosaurus. Basically, what I was thinking is, I understand Mattel seems to have a hard time with sauropods just because they're so long with their neck and their tail and everything, and I covered this in the Mamenchisaurus kind of design, which you guys can also watch. But what I'm really thinking is, if you combine a few of the elements of the previous packaging that they've done with other larger figures, they can really pull it off with relative ease as well. I was thinking if we had there's basically kind of two approaches. Either with the Brachiosaurus box that we got, it's just a box and it's all disassembled and you would have to put it together. Or since it is slightly smaller than the Brachiosaurus, and I guess in terms of height, you could just have it like the kind of the Spinosaurus, or I was thinking a mix between the Spinosaurus packaging, the legacy one, and the T-Rex Bite and Fight packaging, to where you kind of have half of the body kind of enclosed, and then you can see half of the rest of the half kind of sticking out, and just have the tail detached. And again, if they do want to go for size and make it as big as it should be, I think they should just either stick with that or just do the Brachiosaurus thing, where the head, the arms, everything kind of just detaches and you can easily put it together on your own. So I'm probably thinking that they might do this next year. There's a lot of stuff that I think they're just holding back because, again, it's kind of the in-between movie time, and I think they're saving some of their better releases, hopefully, for the final movie in the franchise there. Or maybe final movie, we'll see. I'm still not sure when it comes to that kind of stuff. They might do a few spin-offs, who knows. But overall, what I would really hope to see is Mattel covering the rest of the Jurassic World and the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. I've talked about it in my videos so many times, just because we know Mattel has been able to make these amazing figures, and it's honestly just like, as soon as they make it, this is going to be flying off the shelves. And I feel like same with the other kind of dinosaurs that were featured in previous movies. One probably being like the Corythosaurus, which is something I've been trying to kind of redo. Again, a lot of my older drawings where I kind of tackle those big movie dinosaurs were kind of not as good as I wanted them to be, and I've learned a lot when it comes to kind of digital art, so I would like to try and redo those and kind of make a Gen 2. So right now, I guess we'll get right into the time-lapse and see how I designed this Apatosaurus figure. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm just kind of blocking out some general shapes just to kind of get a feel for what I'm trying to go for. The neck I wanted to make sure I got right, so I changed it up a little bit, just kind of trying to get that arc just right. Kind of similar to what we see in the movie when they were passing by the gyrosphere. But right now what I wanted to do is just kind of pull up a bunch of reference images, and they're on my computer, but you can't really see that because I'm using an iPad right now. If anybody's wondering though, I do use Procreate and an iPad to draw, along with like a pen I just bought on Amazon just to round that out. But right now what I was thinking about doing is having it like a whiptail, but I ended up just making it a more static figure like the Legacy Collection Apatosaurus. I think what I wanted to do, and like just kind of go for a very neutral kind of pose, nothing crazy. Especially because the Brachiosaurus is like that, so I try to copy that as much as possible. Another complaint, or not really complaint, but I get a lot of just comments on my YouTube channel, or not YouTube, but my Instagram, of people saying, oh, the tail's too short, the tail's too short. I'm like, yes, I know the tail's too short, and I would like to make them longer, but I know Mattel has a thing with just kind of shortening tails down and just to kind of save space, and a lot of toy kind of companies do that as well when it comes to just kind of saving space, and I understand that. So I try to make it as kind of realistic for Mattel to do as possible, and you can see here just adding a ton of details. This one was actually pretty easy to make just because I've already made that old one, so it was easy to just kind of block out. What I wanted to do is kind of go for the kind of bluer kind of Apatosaurus or it's kind of like a dark gray almost, that we've seen in the previous movies, and just kind of getting those kind of nice colors, blending them up. And actually, if you look, there are some stripes, so I want to kind of put those stripes as well on the figure here. But yeah, just kind of rushed there because it was actually pretty easy to make, just because I had a bunch of references, and I'm starting to get pretty quick on making these figures. But this is the Apatosaurus. Overall, what I've been trying to do is just kind of work on my style and also the proportions of dinosaurs, because I noticed that I wasn't too happy with a lot of my previous works, and I feel like a lot of people that do art also kind of do that. But what I'm just trying to do is really improve on how the overall design looks and kind of keep it more true to what we see on screen. So yeah, here's the Apatosaurus. Again, a very static figure, kind of like the Brachiosaurus, nothing too crazy, but honestly, this is the last kind of dinosaur we haven't seen from Mattel that's been featured in Fallen Kingdom and let's see, I guess Jurassic World, the first movie. Now that we have the Sinoceratops finally coming out, Apatosaurus is really the last figure to be made, and I really hope we can see it. It's kind of a good sign that we did have that that little minifigure, because the Brachiosaurus also had one of those little minifigures before it was released. So hopefully they already might have had the sculpt all planned out, and they're just kind of waiting for the last movie. So if you have any other comments or suggestions or things for me to draw later on, please leave them down in the comments below. Thanks, guys.